Alright guys, welcome to my review of WWE Friday Night Smackdown for June 1st, 2012. Overall, I have to say I didn't think this was a bad show. I thought they had some decent stuff on here. I liked a few of the matches, I liked a few of the segments, and I thought they did a pretty good job with a lot of this stuff. So I can't really complain too much. There was a few times it got a little bit slow and boring, but for the most part I did enjoy this week's show. It starts off with Sheamus coming out. He says Del Rio has had everything handed to him his whole life, but he won't kiss his arse. Money can't buy him everything. David Otunga comes out. He shows the clip of Sheamus pushing Laurinaitis and orders him to apologize. Sheamus says he's going to stick the coffee cup up Otunga's arse and to tell Laurinaitis if he wants an apology to ask for it himself. Otunga says he's the whitest bulb, but not the brightest. Del Rio comes out. He says Sheamus is a peasant and he's going to be sorry at No Way Out. Otunga says Laurinaitis has allowed Del Rio to pick Sheamus' opponent for tonight. Sheamus gets pissed off, he brogue kicks Otunga, and Del Rio escapes. Not much to this one. Sin Cara returns. I thought this was okay. Sin Cara's hit or miss with me. Sometimes he's on, sometimes he's botching all types of crap. This was a good time. Sin Cara did a pretty good job here, I thought. He's wearing red and white tights now. I guess he got a new color scheme. And his entrance is also different. He didn't use the trampoline like he was using before. But I thought he was okay. It was Sin Cara versus Heath Slater. And I thought this match was entertaining. A little short, but it was pretty good. Booker mentions YouTube here. I think they were talking about Sin Cara's injury and how it happened. And Booker says, they got YouTube, they know. But, yeah. So then Matthew says Sin Cara means the faceless. And Cole says he wishes Booker was faceless and voiceless. But anyway, Sin Cara wins with the La Mystica, which is actually supposed to be a swirl into an armbar. However, here he just slammed Heath Slater with it and pinned him. But either way, it was fine. Maybe not the smoothest, but that would be more on Heath Slater than Sin Cara, in my opinion. I'm not saying Sin Cara didn't go out there and botch. God knows he does. But here, I thought he was okay. And I'm glad to see him return. It's an entertaining character, and, you know, when it's on, like I said, it's good. Then we get Damian Sandow versus Ezekiel Jackson. Sandow cuts a promo before the match, calls him an ignoramus, says he doesn't want to wrestle him, goes to leave. Ezekiel pulls him back in. He hits the knees, hits the Russian leg sweep, hits the neck breaker, gets the win. Does another cartwheel. I can't really complain much about this. His promos are the strong point in getting this character over and getting him heat. So as long as he's allowed to do promos, maybe a little bit longer than this, he should be okay. Backstage, Dolph Ziggler comes up to Del Rio. He asks him to choose him to face Sheamus. Del Rio agrees. Now I like Dolph Ziggler. However, for storyline purposes, and this is me, I know they're putting Ziggler in because they're trying to do this with him. I know it's just thinking as like this logically. If I was Del Rio and this wasn't a huge work, wouldn't you pick Ryback to face Sheamus? If you're Del Rio and you can pick anybody to wrestle Sheamus, wouldn't the logical choice be Ryback? That's just what I was thinking. I understand they're not going to do something like that, and I know why. I'm not talking about this like, oh man, it's all real. I'm just saying if you looked at it outside the box, you know, that is the obvious choice. And then we get Ryan Shelton and Chris Lyons versus Ryback. These guys cut a horrible promo, but it was so bad, it was good. Just ridiculous. So Ryback comes out. He actually says 2 is better than 1 while he's beating them up, which I guess is a reference to those other jobbers who were saying 2 is better than 1. And he just destroys these guys. Power bombs, sick clotheslines, and then he hits the finisher on both of them at once again. Really good. I like this part. This was a great segment. Vicky comes out. She does her excuse me thing. Dolph walks out right behind her, grabs the mic, says, tonight I beat the World Heavyweight Champion. I thought this was good. We get Sheamus versus Ziggler. Jack Swagger tries to interfere, and Sheamus pushes Ziggler into Swagger and then hits the bro kick on Ziggler for the win. This was a good match. You should probably go out of your way to watch this one. It really was good. Punk cuts a promo on Kane's nicknames backstage. Titus and Darren Young cut a small promo calling themselves Primetime Players, and then they wrestle Santino and Zack Ryder. Very short. Santino beats Darren Young with a roll-up. I don't care for that. I like Titus and Darren Young. I think they deserve a better push than losing to Santino and Ryder. And, I mean, it was really just there to allow Big Show to come out and destroy Santino and Zack Ryder anyway, so couldn't they just have Young and O'Neal win, and then Big Show destroys Santino and Zack Ryder afterwards? I mean, it doesn't change anything. It just makes Titus, O'Neal, and Darren Young look weak. So, yeah, Big Show comes out. This was awesome. He throws Santino into the WWE sign. He grabs a piece of the stairs and body slams Zack Ryder onto it. Then he takes the stairs up to the ramp, puts Santino in a camel clutch on the stairs, and then just does this and just donkey punches him in the back of the head. Pretty awesome. I really like this part. Backstage, we see Daniel Bryan talking to AJ. She says Punk is just using her and thinks she's a nut job like everyone else. The only difference is Punk never cared about her, and Daniel Bryan says, I did care about you at one time. And that's more than Punk can say. Cody Rhodes versus Tyson Kidd. Christian's on commentary. Cole says he looks like a conductor. I thought that was a good line. Cody wins with Crossroads. Cody and Christian have a stare down after. No one really cares about this feud. I like Cody Rhodes. I like Christian. But I gotta be honest here. Who really cares about this feud? Nobody. Then we get Punk versus Kane for the WWE title. Now it's the first time in 4 years. I'm pretty sure they said on Raw it was the first time in 8 years the belt was defended on SmackDown, but now it's the first time in 4 years. AJ comes out during the match. The match was decent. Something about it didn't really click for me that much, but it was an okay match. I'm not going to say it was like amazing or anything. AJ comes out. Punk goes up top. Daniel Bryan runs out. AJ warns Punk, so he dives on Daniel Bryan. Kane goes to chokeslam Punk, and Daniel Bryan drop kicks both of them, so the match is thrown out. Then he attacks Punk. Kane double chokeslams both of them, and Laurinaitis comes out. He says it's going to be a triple threat match at No Way Out. No one cared. Fans had no reaction to this news. Afterwards, we see AJ in the middle of the ring, in between Punk and Daniel Bryan, and she doesn't know who to choose, is what I assume we're supposed to take from this. She's kind of looking at both of them. So yeah, that was this week's WWE Smackdown. I did enjoy a few of the matches. Kane and Punk was decent. Ryback squash match was cool. Sheamus and Dolph was awesome. Damien Sandow's match is good because I do like him, and Sin Cara's return was okay by me too, so I gotta say I thought this was a pretty good show. Now on to the Punk, Daniel Bryan, Kane situation. A lot of people predicted this happening. I'm just glad that it still keeps Daniel Bryan and Punk together instead of just Daniel Bryan versus Kane, so I'm okay with it. And one of my friends here on YouTube, Stops Copies Me 91, this guy's full of great ideas for this company. And he actually said, you know, the reason this is fine by him is because Kane can take the loss at No Way Out, keep Daniel Bryan and Punk together, and then they continue to feud through Money in the Bank, and then have a big blow-off at SummerSlam. That's a great idea. I didn't really think about it as in why they would put Kane in the triple threat, but that actually makes a lot of sense because, you know, Kane can take the loss, and Daniel Bryan doesn't have to look weak by losing to Punk. Both guys stay strong, and we can eventually get a big blow-off at SummerSlam, hopefully with Daniel Bryan getting a title run somewhere in here. If it's at SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, I don't care. I just want Daniel Bryan to get at least one run with the WWE title. We all know that it's the A belt, SmackDown's the B belt. Regardless of how they want to portray it, we all know that. And I think Daniel Bryan winning the WWE title is really going to help launch him into a bigger superstar, which they desperately need now, especially with Randy Orton being gone for 60 days. If you want to know my thoughts on that, I talk about it at the beginning of my Impact review for this week. So yeah, he's gone. Sucks for Ziggler. Ziggler was supposed to work a program with Orton, I heard, since Jericho's gone. And now Ziggler doesn't even get to work the program with Orton because Orton suspended for 60 days. Second offense. So yeah, that was this week's SmackDown. Hope you guys liked the review. Leave your thoughts on in the comments below. And I should be back here in a few hours with my review of Piranha 3 Double D. And also, I know this looks like my 200th video. I do want to do something special for my 200th video. However, for some reason the YouTube video counter gets screwed up, and when I go to videos it says 200 once I upload this. However, my video manager still says like 197 or something. So I still have time to put up my 200th video because I go by what the video manager says, and sometimes YouTube just has flukes on the videos. So when I do the 200th video, it will be something special, but it will probably be, you know, a little off the count because I go by the video manager because I think that's what's right. So yeah, anyways, we'll have that up soon, and that's it, guys. So thanks for watching. Bye.